Major retired Ebenezer Kwache Ajiman, security risk and leadership expert, who has done a research in this area and tells us how this has become, transnational, crime, and talking about how within our region, it poses a danger. And they are all willing to speak to you privately about a certain danger, security threat to us in the very near future. It almost looks like you cannot overcome it because you have allowed it to grow to a certain point. But they are not willing to talk about it publicly, like he just did.
I cannot say we won't talk about the thing publicly, because when something hits the fan, everybody here will scatter. So let's just face it. What did we say when we were seeing the pictures? We got to the same point. We have allowed small militias to fester on our soil. Very soon they'll coordinate. Since we are also coordinating NAIMOS, they'll also coordinate militially, and then they will start dealing with us as a country. Now you have gold running not just in the south, it's going all the way to the north. Even areas that Boku are beginning to have, well, there are suggestions that there are certain kinds of not necessarily gold, but mineral finds there. You don't know what we are dealing with. The security implication of this, the foolishness of politicians. You are losing your political power by trying to even entertain this thing that you think is funding you. All the politicians don't find political will to cure this problem because this problem has owned them, and they don't realize that very soon they will even be incognito. No, see, so please let's get real about it.
Measured in your
accusation. Bobo, I'm not being measured about reality and facts. I'm tired of TV compliance. We are dealing with the lives of our children. We are dealing with the future of this nation. Our statehood is at risk. If as a country we've not been able to build nationhood, and we're actually even struggling to now maintain our statehood, what sense is that? You were seeing it to yourself. You were saying it's damn serious. So what is the measurement?
No, I know. But
what is the measurement?
No, I'm saying because of the accusation that every politician is being funded by Galamsey.
Please, Bobo.
Because that's not
true. Said every politician. All the politicians. All the parties are being funded. Bobo, you know it.
Oh,
Bobo,
no, I don't.
Let's not lie. You don't need to be funded. You know that all the political parties are funded by Galamsey as well. Anyway. You and I know. We all sitting here. We know people who are suspected Galamsey activists or what the operators. Why are we sitting on Council of State and other places? Why are we pretending as if we don't know what we are saying? The pretense in this country, we should stop. You are seeing this is a militia, Bobo. It's a militia. And it's a militia. So it's not time for us to start sugarcoating words. The risk is real. Our food is at risk. We are eating poison. People there, look at the food they are eating. Are we not human beings? The water is at risk. Livelihood, sustainable livelihood in our vegetation, the forest is at risk. Can you imagine the nonsense? We go and clear and destroy the forest to mine. Look at the trees there. You have blackwood. Sometimes we don't even realize that possibly we are even destroying $2 million. That's because we are looking for some $500,000. We don't know this. Because these are protected reserves. The quality of wood there, nobody does the evaluation. All they just see is that equipment. It goes there, the excavate. Nobody is really valuing the state. Ghana today cannot even tell us the cost of this whole problem to us in the long term and in the short term. What we have here is a major crisis. And I'm tired of this NAIMOS thing. We are part of it. We support NAIMOS. This thing will not go anywhere if we don't put proper accountability measures across the chain. Mr. President, your power. You can direct things without even moving an inch by holding people just accountable. And we too have to hold you accountable. That's what we said the last time. We don't want to hear whether it is state of emergency or what. Mr. President has his power. He can decide how he wants to use it. The only thing we want to see a safer country. So what's that benchmark in there? So I want to see studies like Prof. Edin and the Major, funded by the state, so that we have recurring reports. We should have water quality reports on a monthly basis to see if our rivers, what kind of metals are in there. Are they healthy for our consumption? Ghana Water, your stability reports should be published every day. Everybody should see what is coming in and what is also going out. When you open the tap, what do you see? We should know what went into that station. Every station in this country should be there. You also have the forest. One last one. You have the forestry report. He should be giving us a monthly report on the state of our forest. That will be our monitoring of His Excellency the President. If everybody can see that the water is not getting better, you can't come and be telling me, showing me rates, 1 rate, 2 rates, and use it to try and mask us. We are not interested in the rates. We are only interested in the ability of the rates to give us the results we want. Good water, better food, our forest reserve protected, and our security infrastructure intact. This is what we want. So the president should trickle it down. All these people accountable. DCs, MCs, regional ministers. Sack them.
Yeah. Just a quick one before.
And in any case, where are the kingpins?
Okay, quickly.
Just a quick one. I must commend the sector minister for what he's doing.
Fantastic.
It is Honorable Emmanuel Malkoff.
Why is there about Jesus in this matter?
Friday, yes, today Saturday. Friday, for instance, he's now made it clear that every week there will be regular updates from his ministry in that regard. He's
published the information,
even
the data.
No, it's been done. And then so at Forestry Commission also, same is going to be done to make sure that there's a regular update for the Ghanaian to know what the state of this is, what is going on. And
we want to know the water situation every day at Ghana Water. We want to see the forest report every month. Let's just clear, not they will give me general updates, funny for no. We should see matrices that we can all monitor as a country.
I think this is
okay.
Reason
Prof, you've been watching this for a long time.
He's the man who has the last thing.
You have to
let's start.
You will make the peace.
Peacemaker coming. Yes, Prof.
But he knows his own peace is
Prof,
suspicious.
and like I said, if you have had the benefit of reading his Commerce, piece, he deals with the thing excellently about how we are not enforcing our laws, however good they are, and everything else. We allowed for a whole period since we began to license small-scale miners and all. And we're expected that even if any concession is given, it needed to go to Parliament for ratification. We sat down for decades without ratifying one, so that there will be parliamentary oversight on these licenses. We issued them in the hundreds, and there was no oversight. Occupy Ghana had to come and complain. So in 2024, just around when, 2023, 2024-ish, when we are talking elections, then midnight, Parliament goes to ratify en masse all the leases that have not been ratified. So he says, part of the problem, we have created a legacy. We didn't investigate some of these people well. So it is actually not about lack of, brains or lack of resources. It is political will. You agree?
Yes. And if you look at, I recall in the lead up to the 2024 election, when Galamsey became an issue again, and even post the election, when I sometimes, follow these conversations, I say to people I engage privately on this matter, go back and take a look at the manifestos of our two main political parties. If you combine those two manifestos, you don't even see the word Galamsey being used more than 6 times across the two manifestos. My reading of it was, it appears as though, without saying it directly, there was this conscious attempt not to create the impression that we are going to take this really strong anti-Galamsey stand, even though there was this, it's a bad thing, etc., right? That's part of the way I see this political will thing manifesting. It's an election year. Yes, we put in good ideas on how we can fight this menace, but you walk away with this impression that, hey, let's not create this impression that when we come in, we're going to bulldoze everybody out of the way, but rather we use beautiful narratives like, greater regulatory oversight and administrative support, and not that those things are bad ideas, but how you even communicate what you want to do policy-wise around these things may give either the impression to those engaged in it some level of comfort that says, yeah, maybe I'm safe, or no, I am not safe. If we are looking at all of these pictures, the stories that Erasmus is sharing, then you see even the entanglement of our own state institutions, the very institutions that we are looking at fighting this thing, also being sort of compromised in certain places. How do you master that political will eventually to do this.
Soldiers went to Vanguard. Soldiers went to do Vanguard. They were now even holding and helping the Galamseyers.
I was on a show.
We saw it on TV.
I was on a show 2 years ago where one of the persons involved in these security operations said, even at some point, some of them even became compromised and started offering protection to the very people. So my last point is, what political will? Is it that at some point we have to make it an issue where there are no winners and losers, right? That our two political parties are able to get to a place of political consensus and say, look, we have traded political jabs over this. We've made each other politically vulnerable to Galamsey. Can we get to a point where I'm not trying to score points or I'm not trying to make you vulnerable? Can we get to a place where we both agree that, look, let's master the will, however we are entangled or not entangled?